Yo, what's up? Today we have got the final part so far of the Pokemon tier list with Generation 9. Final part for now, at least. I do plan on continuing to update the tier list whenever more games come out. So yeah, let's just get started with Sprigatito. Now, we're off to a bit of a weird start here, because Sprigatito, I don't particularly mind. I think it's just kind of okay. The design isn't particularly interesting to me, like it's cute, but other than that, I don't feel any way towards it, really. I'd probably put it below Sandy Gast. Like, it's whatever. But then it evolves, unfortunately, into these two. Floragato is B tier for sure. I like the yo-yo thing that it has, but other than that, I'm just not a fan of it. I don't like that it stood up on 2 legs. I'm not gonna get over it. I wish they would just keep the starters on 4 legs if they are on 4 legs. It's getting kind of old, and I really don't like this design archetype very much. There's exceptions, of course, but Floragato isn't one of them. Put it below Celesteela. And then Meowscarada. This is like the ship of Theseus. How many aspects of a cat can you remove from a design until it is no longer a cat? This is barely a cat Pokemon. It doesn't have cat ears. It doesn't have a cat tail. It barely even has a cat face. Its facial expression, just in general, is just so strange. Its expression is like impossible to read. What emotion is this? What emotion? Because I sure as hell have no idea. Yeah, no, not a fan. Like at all. I think I'd put it top of E tier. But yeah. Really don't like Meowscarada. Contrast though, Fuecoco. The Fuecoco line is amazing. Fuecoco himself, I think one of the best first stage starters, if you ask me. There's just so much personality there. I think I'd probably put it just above Rowlet. I love Fuecoco. There's nothing going on in this little guy's head whatsoever. Nothing. Crocalor is probably the weakest of the line, but I still like it. I like the sombrero with the egg hat on it. I think it's a very, very cool design aspect. I'd probably put it just above Yveltal. I like it, but yeah. It is still a middle stage starter, and those are kind of hard to really make stand out super well. And then Skeledirge, I love Skeledirge. I love its design, I love the typing, although I will say it's kind of lame that Skeledirge came out right after Hisuian Typhlosion, which was also a fire ghost type. But I do like Skeledirge more. I think I put it just above it. Skeledirge is really, really cool. And the signature move, Torch Song, is such a ridiculously broken move. I love it. It's such a fun Pokemon to use. Yeah, without a doubt, one of my favorite starters. Quaxly is pretty good. I think this is a pretty nice first stage starter. Got a lot of personality. I think pretty interesting design too. I like the like hat hair that he has. Yeah. I like Quaxly. I'll probably put him just below Mischievous. Quaxwell, however, is not good. This thing is ugly. Ugly. I'd put it above Wormadam. Yeah. not a good middle stage at all. Quaquaval is pretty good though. Aqua Step and Moxie combined is just ridiculous, and I love it. I like its design too. It's kind of, I think it's kind of like a peacock. I can't remember if that's what it's supposed to be. But yeah, this got, I love his animations too. He's got so much personality. Pretty damn good starter. I'm gonna just below Kleavor. Lechonk. Where did I put Wooloo? I feel about the same towards both of them. Oh god, I don't remember. Right here. I'd rank it below Wooloo. I like Wooloo's design a little more. These are like the same, like, archetype of Pokemon. Funny, meme Route 1 Pokemon that everyone, praises like a god for the first few months after they're revealed and then never talks about ever again. Yeah. Yeah. Oinkalogne, I'll just rank the female one. Yeah, it really loses the charm. Its signature ability, Lingering Aroma, is whatever. It's just Wandering Spirit, but again... Or no, it's not Wandering Spirit. It's Mummy, I think. I can't remember. That should really speak to how much I care about this Pokemon. Yeah, I'd rank it below Deerling. It's not the greatest. Tarountula, I like Tarountula quite a bit. A cute little guy. I'd put it just below Shiinotic. I think pretty neat design. I like that it's just a spider and like a web ball. And I like him in the overworld that they just like hang from trees everywhere. At least on the first route. I don't think you really ever see him past the first route, weirdly. But yeah, he's cool. Spidops. Now, when the games first came out, I really didn't like Spidops, like, at all. I thought it was pretty lame. But it's definitely grown on me quite a bit. I think it can be a pretty fun Pokemon to use. Even if, objectively, it's a horrible, atrocious Pokemon. But I do think he's still cool, nonetheless. Put him above Stunfisk. Just wait until Spidops Unbound comes in Legends EA. It's over for the game whenever that happens. Nymble is okay. I don't feel particularly strongly about it, especially compared to its evolution. I feel like Nymble doesn't have a whole lot going on. I don't dislike it, but I don't think about it very often either. What about Helioptile? But then when it evolves into Lokix, Lokix is actually so peak, dude. Tinted Lens, First Impression, and Sucker Punch, and all the stuff that it gets. It's actually insane, this Pokemon. I'd probably put it just below Dunsparce. Also, Bug Dark is a really cool typing, one that I wanted to see for a long time. And I'm glad that Lokix is what we got it, because Lokix is super cool. I love Lokix. Pawmi is a neat little guy. I think I'd put him above Venipede. I think he's alright. He's a pretty good Pikachu clone. But yeah. Pawmo. This Pokemon does not need to exist. This does not need to be a 3-stage line. If it was just Pawmi to Pawmot, I feel like people would complain about the line a lot less. Because Pawmi to Pawmo already is kind of underwhelming, but then Pawmo into Pawmot is like... Come on. Yeah, Pawmo is just unnecessary. I don't hate it, but like, I'll put it above Floragato, I guess. Pawmot I do like quite a bit. This is definitely one of the best Pikachu clones, if you ask me. Electric Fighting's a really cool type. It's insane that it took this long to get one. I think Iron Fist is a cool ability. I think Revival Blessing's a cool move. I think this is just a very, very cool Pokemon in general. Pawmot, I like quite a decent amount. Probably not that high, but I think Little Hisuian Sliggoo is fine. Pawmot's cool. Tandmaus. This is Tandmaus. It's okay. This is a weird Pokemon line. I kind of like it. It's so weird. I'd probably put it below Sizzlipede. Yeah. I don't feel too strongly about it, but Maushold I think is pretty cool, and a very good Pokemon, by the way. This thing is like so versatile, and it's just a very, very, very fun Pokemon. Not my personal favorite. I probably wouldn't put it anywhere higher than B tier, but I think it's still cool either way. Think about Pidgeot. Fidough is cute. I like this guy. Very, very fun name too. This is pretty good guy. I think below Barrascuda. Fido's cool. And then Dachsbun, I also like. Well-baked body, really cool ability. This is a Pokemon I used to beat the 7-star Charizard raid back when that was going on, and kind of had a soft spot for him since. I think Dachsbun is pretty cool. I'd probably put it just below Charjabug. Dachsbun is neat. Smoliv. Smoliv's alright. I don't hate it, but I don't really think much about it either. I put it below Duskull. It's cute. Dolliv, this is one of the Pokemon I saw back when the leaks for Scarlet and Violet were going on before the game came out, and it had me worried, I'm not gonna lie, about what this was gonna turn into, but thankfully it didn't go the way I was thinking it would. But Dolliv is it's alright. I think it's an improvement over Smoliv, but not by a whole lot. I'll put it below Kamala. And then Arboliva, I think, is pretty cool. This thing can be pretty fun to use. Grass Normal is a weird type, but I guess it's fine. Seed Sower is a cool ability, and Harvester is a cool ability too. I think it's a pretty fun Pokemon to use, but still don't feel too strongly about it. Probably put it below Swadloon. Yeah, I think Arboliva is neat. Squawkabilly, this is... who cares? No one cares. This thing actually gets really good abilities. But, like, it's Squawkabilly, so who actually cares? I don't know if I put it quite D tier, but it's I think we put it below Dedenne. Nacli, the Mario Mushroom. I do wonder if that the design was on purpose. If it was meant to look like a Mario Mushroom. Nacli's fine. Think above Panpour. Yeah, above Panpour, right? Nacli, so it's alright. And then Naclstack is cool. This is where it gets Salt Cure, which is a really cool move. Really broken move, but really cool move. Also, I like that that it kind of looks like a Minecraft pig. It's like the crossed eyes. If you squint a little bit, you can see it. It looks very much like a Minecraft creature. I doubt that was on purpose, but still interesting either way. I like it. I'd probably put it this high. I'll put it above Staryu. Naclstack's cool. And Garganacl is a menace. This Pokemon is ridiculous, but I kind of love it. I like that it's kind of like a like an Aztec pyramid kind of thing going on there. It's pretty neat. I think the only missed opportunity with Garganacl is not making it shiny pink like a Himalayan salt. Like that was it's like one of the few shinies that would actually look good in pink. It makes sense in pink, but it's fine either way. Yeah, the combination of Purifying Salt as its ability and Salt Cure and its ridiculous move pool and stats. This Pokemon's insane, but I like it for that. Charcadet is cool. It's a cool little guy. Probably below Thievul. I like Charcadet. Armarouge. I have mixed feelings on Armarouge because the design is super cool. I love these two's designs. But I have bad memories with this thing because I remember doing double battles on Pokemon Showdown. And this guy and Indeedee would haunt me. Because, you know, Psychic Terrain, Expanding Forest. You see where that's gotten Indeedee. But Armarouge, I'm willing to look past it because the design is cool. I'm willing to give it at least a B tier. Probably, I think just below Golitz. Actually, no, it's too low. I think I'd put it below Melmetal. I think that's good for Armarouge. Ceruledge is the one I like a bit more. It's like really edgy. It's a really edgy Pokemon, but I don't really care. It's cool. Kind of weird they didn't give this thing sharpness, considering it has swords for hands. I feel like that thing would be perfect for sharpness, but oh well. I'd put it near the bottom of A tier, I think, or maybe probably the top of B tier. I don't think I'd put it quite into A tier. I think I'd put it just below, no, above, yeah, above Hawlucha. I think Ceruledge is cool. Another fire ghost type banger, another banger fire ghost type. They just don't mess with those. Tadbulb, it's whatever. It's the pre-evolution to Bellibolt, and that's kind of all I ever associate it with, because no one really cares about Tadbulb, if we're being honest. I put it below Furfrou. Bellibolt is cool though. It's got a cool ability. It's got a cool design. I like the like fake eyes on the side of its head. Its real eyes are these two yellow dots just above its mouth. I like the design. Probably would put it in B tier. Not super high. I think probably just above Applin. Yeah, just above Applin. He's cool. Wattrel is okay. Probably put it just above Dino. Wattrel's cool. Flying Electric is a cool type. I think it's a cool type for the regional bird to be. And Kilowattrel, it's just like a better version of Wattrel, if you can't tell by the name. Wind Power is a really cool ability. And yeah, I think I'd probably put it just below Gourgeist. Kilowattrel can be pretty fun to use, especially in conjunction with some other Pokemon introduced in this gen. And Shiftry, but we'll get there in a second. Mastiff is ugly. And I don't really care about it. I thought it was Yungoos at first when I saw it, because the way the yellow goes down the back, like Yungoos, and yeah. But it's whatever. What about Chikorita? Mabostiff, I have to give it at least a B tier. I don't really care about this thing for the most part, but the story revolving around a Mabostiff in in Scarlet and Violet was really good. I really liked that that part of the story. It's a little close to home, but still pretty damn good. I think I'd put it below Dracozolt. I like Mbostiff. Shroodle is ugly, really ugly. Put it below Galarian Rapidash in D tier. Yeah, don't really care for it. Fire is cool, however. It's got Prankster, my favorite ability. I've said it plenty of times. That's usually immediately going to elevate you to at least B tier. And it gets Doodle, which is a really cool move. Yeah. Fire is just pretty damn cool Pokemon overall. I put it below Carbink. I think it can be pretty fun to use. Bramblin. I like Bramblin. Seeing this thing rolling around in the overworld and then it turning out to be a Pokemon was something. I like it though. I'd probably put it below Silvally. And then Bramblegast. I love Bramblegast. I like how it's just so goofy. It's such a goofy Pokemon. But the ability Wind Rider is really cool. This is what I was talking about. It's really fun pairing this with Kilowattrel. Them both getting a boost off of Tailwind. Yeah. Grass Ghost, another really cool undefeated type combination. I think it's really cool how for a while in VGC, a Tumbleweed with a face was like a super hard counter to a lot of meta picks that were going on at the time. I just find that really funny. I really like Bramblegast. Put it just above Emboar. I think it's a very fun Pokemon. Oh, and another one, Toadschool. Oh man, there's nothing that's gonna beat seeing this thing running around in the overworld for the first time. It's such a goofy Pokemon, and I love it. I love it. I'd put it probably above Girafarig. Toadschool is so goofy. I love the like regional fake Pokemon. It's such a good idea. And Toadscruel, I also really like. Not quite as goofy, but I do still like it. I used this on my team in Scarlet and Violet, and I really enjoyed it. I'd probably put it like just above Toadschool. I'm a big fan of both of these. Big fan of both of them. Grass Ground is also a really cool typing. It's just unfortunate thinking about it. I just remembered. Yeah, their ability, I don't know why. I guess they really don't want fast Spore users. I guess that's the big thing. Where all of its status moves always go last, but ignore abilities. I think if they wanted to balance that out a bit more, they should have made it like also work like Infiltrator, where it'll ignore Protect and make it so you can like use Spore on grass types and stuff. Because right now the drawback of the ability is really not worth it, like at all. But still, I really like both of them. Claw. Gotta be real, I haven't thought about this thing very often, like at all, since the game came out. Claw is C tier. It's got a really cool ability, but still, it's nothing to write home about, if you ask me. I'd put it just above Nincada, I guess. It's okay. Capsakid is really ugly. I don't know what it is with this gen and having really ugly first stages. But there's like a few of them, and Capsakid is definitely one of them. It's not too bad, but yeah, Claydol, I think just below Claydol. Scovillain, however, I really like Scovillain. I've wanted a fire grass type for so long. It was one of my most wanted types that have been unused, and I really like the one that we got. Scovillain is pretty awesome, and it's got Moody as a hidden ability, which is cool. Not the best, but it's cool. I'd probably put it just below Blaziken. Yeah. I think Skullvillain can be pretty fun to use. I wish its stats were better. My issue with Skullvillain is that it's a mixed attacker, which means that both of its attacking stats are mediocre. I really wish they would stop doing that and just go all in one way. Or if they are going to make it a mixed attacker, at least make both stats high enough to where it can actually deal some good damage. Unfortunately, Skullvillain doesn't really have super great stats. I hope one day maybe it'll get an evolution or something. I think that would be nice. But yeah, pretty cool. Relor, I think is cool. He's got a really cool shiny. Where the little dung ball that he rolls around is turns golden like a nugget. I think it's very cool. His face is also strange, but I also like that. But yeah, Relor is cool. I don't think about him super often though. Below type null. Rabska is really cool, however. I love the mystery surrounding this Pokemon, like the Dex entries that contradict themselves and say that there's a baby inside the ball, but then the other Dex entry says that the ball is the true body of Rabska. Yeah, and well, the design itself is also just really cool. I think this is a cool way to do like a dung beetle scarab Pokemon. It also gets Revival Blessing, which is cool. I'd probably put it below Spidops, but still pretty high. I'd put it just below the Stunfisks. Flittle, ugly first stage Pokemon, not a fan. Below Dedenne, above Squawkabilly. Espathra is really cool. Speed boost, stored power, calm mind. This thing is really fun to use. Kind of a one-trick pony, though. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. It does have Opportunist. That's another option. Where it can just copy any stat buffs that the opponent gets. That is cool. I like that it's got options, but I feel like you would probably just prefer to run Speed Boost. But it is cool either way. I'd put it above Dottler. Tinkatink, ugly first stage. Probably the best out of them so far. I don't hate it, but still not super great. Tinkatuff, less ugly, more cool. Still not a super big fan. I would put it just below Poipole, I think. But then Tinkaton, big improvement. It's not ugly anymore. And Fairy Steel, not my favorite type, but I think it's a cool type. And it's a cool design. Gigaton Hammer is a ridiculous move. Thank God they didn't give it to any Pokemon with a higher attack stat. Tinkaton is pretty cool. Not my favorite from this gen. I know it's a fan favorite, but never quite super clicked for me. But I still like it. I put it above Nosepass. Wiglet. It's like C tier. Yeah, it was cool at first seeing this thing, and it was cool and funny, but now it's like whatever. Now that we have two other regional fake Pokemon, Wiglet and Wugtrio, just seem really underwhelming. I'd put it below Scorbunny. It's not great. Wugtrio also, it's like whatever. I'd put it just above Wiglet. It's I don't really care about it. Bombardier is pretty cool. Flying Darksicle typing, the ability it gets Rocky Payload. I love that kind of ability. That's like a Steelworker on Delmise, where it basically just gives it Stab on all Steel moves. This guy gets Stab on Rock moves, which I find pretty fun. I do like the design, but it's not super standout. I'd probably put it near the bottom of B tier. I think just below Morlul. I think Bombardier's alright. Finizen. Finally getting a dolphin Pokemon after all these years. I think Finizen is pretty good. Probably near the top of C tier. Not the biggest fan, but it's still cool. I'll put it just below Diancie. And Palafin, I'll rank this one so not to get it confused with Finizen. Palafin is really cool, has a really cool gimmick. I'd probably put it somewhere around like the top-ish half of B tier. The gimmick is cool. I think this is a really good way to do a gimmick. A lot of times you get stuff like Wishy Washy, which has really good stats, but its ability holds it back so much. And then Golisopod has good stats, but its ability holds it back. I think Palafin is a good way of locking a powerful Pokemon behind like a specific condition they have to do by like switching it out in battle. While also not being too restrictive so that the Pokemon sucks in battle. And I think Palafin is a good way to do that. I'd probably put it below Runerigus, just above Torracat. It's pretty cool. Varoom, I really like this guy. I like the rubber hose mouth that it has. I like how stupidly fast it is in the overworld. Probably somewhere in B tier. Probably not super high. I think I'd put it just above Galarian Linoone. Varoom is pretty cool. And then a Revavroom, my boy. This is, I think this is probably my favorite Pokemon in this gen. Steel Poison was another type I really wanted because it's just a hard counter to fairy types, and I hate fairy types. For the most fairy types I don't really care for. Yeah, and Revavroom is just really fun to use. Shift Gear, Iron Head, Poison Jab, Spin Out is a fun move. Or just a pretty fun Pokemon to use overall. I think I'd put it just above Weavile. Cyclizar is really fun. Probably the normal Dragon type I like a little bit more than Drampa. I forget where I put Drampa. Well, it's probably going higher. Regenerator is a cool ability. Shed Tail is a really cool move that pairs well with Regenerator. Yeah, this is just a very fun Pokemon to use. Normal Dragon's not like the greatest typing ever, but it's not the worst either. I would probably put it just above Jigglypuff. Cyclizar is pretty dang cool. Orthworm, also cool, also has a really good ability. Just being completely immune to ground type moves is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, not my favorite by any means. I haven't really thought about it much, but I do like it. I would probably put it just above Litten. The Limit is cool. Rock Poison's a cool type. The design is weird. In like a good way though. Don't super care for it. I think I'd put it just below Double, but it's decent. And Glamora, I like quite a bit more. Toxic Debris is a cool ability. This thing's got pretty good stats. It's just a very fun Pokemon to use overall, in my opinion. And I especially like it. I've recently done another run through of Elite Redux after their newest update came out. And Glamora in that game was really, really fun to use, especially in conjunction with Spidops. And it's kind of giving me a little bit of a soft spot for it. I'd probably put it here somewhere. I think just below Quaquaval. Glamora is pretty cool. Greavard is cute. He's a cute little guy. The trailer, or like, yeah, the trailer, I guess. The like little animation they did to reveal him around Halloween before the game came out was weirdly dark, where like a lady just dies because it drains her life energy just by just being near her. I gotta probably put him above Bramblin. Weaver's a cute little guy. Houndstone is a ridiculous Pokemon. Last Respects is just an insane move. I haven't really heard much about it in a long time, like since the game came out. I imagine it's probably still really good. Just because Last Respects is a really good move. But yeah, I'd probably put it around the bottom-ish of B tier. I think below Eternatus. I think it's a very cool Pokemon. Flamigo. They were bold to go with this name. It's just you just take out the N in Flamingo, but it works because it's amigo. It's a friend. Friend Flamigo. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I don't hate it. I think there's definitely worse and more lazy Pokemon designs out there. Put it below Stonejourner. It's okay. Cetoddle, I love this guy. He's such an awesome little guy. Probably like high-ish B tier. Think about Samurott. Cetoddle is a very cute little guy. Titan, honestly, I probably don't like as much as Cetoddle, but it's still pretty good. I'd probably put it just above Alolan Graveler. I think Titan is a pretty fun Pokemon to use. Very versatile again. It's got Slush Rush, it's got Sheer Force, it's got Thick Fat. And it's got good stats too. It's got Belly Drum. There's a lot going for a Titan. It's very cool. Veluza is an extremely annoying Pokemon. There's no reason it should be as fast as it is in the overworld and have like 70 base speed. Like it's insanity. Maybe if it was a better Pokemon, I would like it, but it's annoying in the game because it's constantly harassing you if you go anywhere near the water that it's in. And it's near impossible to avoid because it's so fast, and then you catch it and it's like a pretty slow Pokemon. Unless you manage to get off the layaway, which good luck. But yeah. I think like probably top of D tier. I probably wouldn't put it in B tier, thinking about it. I wouldn't quite put it that low. I'll put it below Lickitung. Dondozo is cool. His whole gimmick surrounds about what is with Tatsugiri, though. And Dondozo himself I've never been huge on. I like that he's kind of like a sushi chef. I think that's cool. But other than that, I'm not huge on him. I'd probably put him... probably not this high even. I think below Sock. And then Tatsugiri, I'll rank the yellow ones as the stretchy one, I think. Because this is my favorite, the one that I personally used in the game. I really like Tatsugiri. I love his design. I like that this is a dragon type. I think that's really funny. Not my favorite by any means, but still, I really like it. I'd probably put it below Arcan. Now we're on to the evolutions of old Pokemon. There's not too many. Annihilate is a huge glow up from Primeape. This is a crazy Pokemon design, and it's so good. I'd probably put it somewhere like the bottom-ish of A tier. Probably just above Reuniclus. I think Annihilape is really, really cool. Ghost Fighting's a sick typing. I like that it references an old Pokédex entry from Gen 7, where it says that Primeape can get so angry that it dies. Yeah, there's just so much going for Annihilape. It's so cool. And then Rage Fist is a really cool move too. Oh man. Clodsire is really good. I definitely prefer it over Quagsire. Not by a whole lot, probably, but it's still pretty dang nice. I'd probably put it, well, yeah, probably just above the Looper, just above Jotonian Looper. Clodsire is pretty cool. Farigiraf. Oh man, you have no idea how happy I was that Girafarig finally got an evolution. And then for it to turn out to also be a really good Pokemon, dude, just, I'm sold. I'm sold on this thing. I love its design. I love that it's wearing the tail that Girafarig has, like a hoodie. I love its ability, Armor Tail. It's just such a fun Pokemon. I think, yeah, just below Skeledirge. Super cool. Oh my god, the Dunsparce. I am the Dunsparce's #1 defender. I will defend this thing forever and ever and ever. I put it just below Dunsparce, but I still like it. People who wanted Dunsparce to evolve into like this huge epic dragon, I feel like just fundamentally don't understand what the point of Dunsparce was. Because it was a joke Pokemon based on like a pathetic and stupid Japanese cryptid called the Sushinako, I think is what it's called, which is just a fat snake that hops around. Sushinoko, that's what it's called, Sushinoko. Probably have an image of it on screen right now, but this is a joke Pokemon. It's something that's supposed to be rare, super rare, something that's just stupid and not worth going out and looking for. Dunsparce is a joke Pokemon. Of course, it got a joke evolution. People just don't understand the design aspects and concepts that go into Pokemon sometimes, and it frustrates me, especially with Dunsparce into Dunsparce. Like, there was zero reason for Dunsparce to be like another Magikarp where it evolves into a huge dragon, super powerful dragon. The Dunsparce is literally the perfect evolution of Dunsparce, because, well, for one, it fits with the theme, and two, you can't improve upon perfection. You can only add to it, and that's what the Dunsparce is, adding to perfection. Perfection that is Dunsparce. So yeah, that's my rant about the Dunsparce over. Kingambit, another really good evolution to an old Pokemon. I'm not sure why they gave Bisharp an evolution. I don't think it was really something that was begging for one, but I'm not opposed to it. And it's pretty cool too. Probably just below Seismitoad. Kingambit is pretty cool. Now we're on to the Paradox Pokemon. Probably got a lot to say about these. So the past Paradox Pokemon: Great Tusk, Screamtail, Brute Bonnet, Fluttermane, Slitherwing, and Sandy Shocks. I really love the concept of the Paradox Pokemon, but for the most part, I really like most of them. Just a few exceptions. I love the naming convention with all of these, where it's 2 words put together. It really makes it sound like a folklore cryptid thing, like Bigfoot, Mothman, Goatman, Flatwoods Monster, stuff like that. I think that is a really good thing. I love that they all like share at least one type with the Pokemon they're based on, while keep getting another unique type. I love that they're just based on old Pokemon too. I love that some are like ancient versions of the Pokemon and some are future versions. Let's just get started. Great Tusk is pretty good. Not my favorite out of the past Paradoxes, but still pretty nice. I think I'd put it just below Ice-Q. Ground Fighting is a cool type. This is the first one of those we ever got. I think it's very nice. Definitely an improvement over Donphan. Screamtail, probably the weakest out of the past Paradoxes, if I'm being honest. Probably. Yeah, no, definitely. It's not that different from Jigglypuff. It's kind of just got like a big tail on the back of its head now, and it's a Fairy Psychic type. Stop making these, please. Please, we have enough Fairy Psychic types. I think if this thing was like Fairy Dragon or something, I would like it a lot more, but the typing is just so uninteresting. And I find it hard to really care for it. The stat spread is cool, at least. I do like that. But, yeah. Probably below Comfey. Brute Bonnet. I was a little disappointed with this one, that they, this is one thing. I am a little disappointed they didn't come up with, like, more unique names for them, mostly because in the leaks, I remember seeing this thing and people started calling it Oonga Boongus, which is just such a good name. I don't really hold that against it because I do like the names that they have now, but I think that would have been nice. Probably just below Stack Attack. I think Group on it. It's pretty cool. Fluttermane. I'm very, very conflicted on Fluttermane. I like that they gave Mischievous a little more attention because I like Mischievous and Mismagius, but this is still cool too. Ghost Fairy is a cool type. I think the design is decent. I think it changes like a pretty good amount from Mischievous. It could probably do a little bit more. But this thing is so ridiculously unbalanced that I'm really struggling with where to put it. Another thing in the Pokédex entries... Actually, I'll get into this whenever I start talking about the Paradox Pokemon as a whole a little bit more. Fluttermane. I'd probably rank low B tier. I cannot in good conscience rank this thing any higher just because of how unbalanced it is. I already nerfed a bunch of Pokemon for being unbalanced, but I mean at least their designs also weren't that interesting, but I like Fluttermane's design and typing and stuff. I would probably put it below Oranguru. I think Oranguru is just a bit more interesting, but Fluttermane is cool either way. Slitherwing is a very, very good Paradox. Bug fighting type Volcarona that keeps a little bit more of the design traits of Larvesta. Very, very cool. I wish it was better though, because it's such a good design, but bug fighting and its stats overall, it's just not the greatest. But I still like it. And I already really like Volcarona, so any bit of love it gets is going to be very appreciated. I think I put it just below Infernape. Very cool design. Sandy Shocks. Probably, maybe, I think it might be my favorite of the past Paradox Pokemon. I already love the Magnemite line, and this... Magneton was the weakest in my opinion, but this did wonders for it. It walking around on these like bendy, stretchy magnets with the iron fillings on it. Super, super cool. I love Sandy Shocks. I'd probably put it just below Galarian Darmanitan. Yeah, just below. I think it's very cool. I think the future Paradox Pokemon get way too much flack. Because most of the time when people are talking to them, they're just looking at still images of them. And I think a lot of the appeal with the future Paradox Pokemon comes with their animations. Like, you can't really just tell just looking at them, but they have very, very cool design aspects, even if, like, on surface value, they don't look that great. Like, Iron Treads rolls up into a ball like this, like, tire mark thing. It wraps around its whole body and it starts rolling everywhere. It tucks its legs into its body. Iron Bundle, when he takes damage, his head pops off, his tail detaches and shoots ice and water moves and stuff out of there. Iron Hands, his hands floating is really cool. Iron Jugulus shoots off its arms like missiles. Iron Moth. The like animations, the way the like wings and stuff fold and not fold, but move and twitch around like I don't know how to describe it. Like they look like solar panels, but also its facial expressions that it has, like when it faints, its eyes turn into X's. Iron Thorns. I mean, Iron Thorns already looks super cool. It doesn't really have much animation-wise, but I guess the spikes on his back pop in and out. But the point is, I think these guys are I think they're underrated. I think they're pretty good. Honestly, I think I like them more than the past Paradox. Because I really like dinosaurs. Don't get me wrong, I love dinosaurs and like prehistoric life in general, but I feel like they just didn't go hard enough with the dinosaur aspect of them. In my opinion, at least. Like I said, I don't know if I can't remember. But it says Fluttermane is supposed to be like a pterosaur in one of the Pokédex entries, yet there's really not much resemblance to a pterosaur in the design. Like, it's kind of got like a crest on its head, but that's it. Yeah, I do wish they leaned harder into the dinosaur theming with the past Paradox Pokemon. And I've seen people complain that the future Paradox Pokemon are all just robots. But like, what else do you associate the future with? Speculative evolution is one thing, but I mean, it works no different than just speculating what a Pokemon looked like in the past. You could easily like pick, I don't know, say Whiscash, and do speculative evolution in the future. Like, what if Whiscash grew legs to walk on land or whatever? But I mean, it could easily be the same. You could easily speculate, what if in the past the Whiscash could have walked on land? It's like speculative evolution and evolution in general is not like, oh, how do I put it? When you think of the future, you think robots. And at least that's what I think. I think robots work fine as the concept for the future Paradox Pokemon. And as for the naming scheme, where they all just have iron in front of their names, I think, at least in my opinion, my personal headcanon, my theory is that they all of like the iron or the future Paradox Pokemon were all like manufactured in a factory by like a single mega corporation company, and putting iron in front of everything is like their brand or something. It's like how all of their shinies are just unpainted. It's like they just came fresh out of the factory. And like their product name is Iron Moth, Iron Thorns, Iron Jugulus, stuff like that. I think there's a lot of cool speculation you can do with the future Paradox Pokemon and the kind of world they came from. And I think that's why I like them so much. But I figure I should probably just actually start rating them now. Iron Treads is pretty cool. Ground Steel isn't the most interesting typing, but I really like the way this thing looks and moves around and stuff. Probably put it low B tier. I don't think I like it quite as much as Great Tusk, wherever I put that right here. But I still like it. I'll probably put it just below Regigigas. Actually, no, we're not that high. Just below Pikipek. Great Tusk, or Iron Treads is cool. Iron Bundle. I love this guy. Ice Water is not the most interesting typing, but I think he's cool either way. I love his design. I love his animations. I love how really strong he is. Especially in comparison to Delibird. It's kind of crazy, but I like Iron Bundle quite a bit. Probably put him just below Hisuian Zoroark. My boy Iron Hands. This is definitely my favorite Paradox Pokemon. Just because he's so useful in raids. That's the main thing. He's really useful in raids. I love his design, because one of my favorite like elements in a design is like when characters have floating hands and stuff. And I also love robots, so a robot with floating hands. Electric Fighting's a cool type. Just really, really cool in general. I really like Iron Hands. I'd probably put him just below Chinchino, but very, very cool. Iron Jugulus, definitely the weakest, I think. Maybe out of the future Paradox Pokemon, it's hard to say, because there's a little bit more later on that I'm not super big on. But as is, Dark Flying just feels like a strict downgrade from Dark Dragon of the original Hydreigon. It's down here. I'm really not big on it. I don't hate it, but yeah, I'd probably put it below Cobalion. Iron Moth, I love Iron Moth. Fire Poison's a really cool type. I love its design, I love its animations. Yeah, I just really like this overall. Still, I don't think holds a candle to Volcarona, much like Slitherwing. But yeah, I still like it. I'd probably put it just above Slitherwing. I just like its design just a little bit more. But I think they're pretty equal overall. Iron Thorns. Rock Electric is a cool type, even if it's not good at all remotely. But Iron Thorns is pretty cool. I like that it's kind of like Mecha Godzilla. Even though I know Tyranitar isn't actually based on Godzilla, but whatever. I think Tyranitar was definitely a good choice to get the future Paradox form. I probably put it just below Mime Jr. I do really like Iron Thorns. Okay, now Frigibax. I've also got mixed feelings on this line. Well, first of all, Frigibax, ugly first stage. Why are there so many ugly first stage Pokemon? Yeah, I guess I don't hate it. Ice Dragon's a cool type, but man, it is ugly. No, death below Dominion. Arctibax. I love Arctibax. Because this is, unlike the rest of the line, this is very clearly like inspired by a dinosaur. I forget exactly which dinosaur. Let me check real quick. So I'm back now. So yes, it is based on probably several dinosaurs, but most likely Spinosaurus, Concavenator, and Altispinax. Spinosaurus is pretty well known, but Concavenator and Altispinax are both pretty obscure dinosaurs, and I think it's really cool that they based them off of that. And Altispinax in particular is really special to me because it's the first starter Venusaur you get in Fossil Fighters. I just made a pretty big video about Fossil Fighters not too long ago. You should definitely check that out if you like Pokemon. You'll probably like Fossil Fighters too. But anyways, I really like Arctibax. Arctibax is like one of the best middle stage Pokemon of all time, in my opinion. Especially for a pseudo. Arctibax is very, very cool. I would probably put it just below Chespin in A tier. I really, really like Arctibax. But it's just like a shame. Arctibax is so unique, and I love that it's based on dinosaurs. But then, Baxcalibur just... it feels like it really abandons a lot of that just to be like Godzilla. This thing is like body plan... I'm mainly talking about design here. Like, battle-wise, I think it's cool and fun to use. But design-wise, I really feel like it's a disappointment. Because its body plan is so similar to Tyranitar already. I know Tyranitar is not based on Godzilla. It's based on something from Ultraman, I think. Yes, it's based on a monster from Ultraman. But it's, I don't know, the two are so similar. I feel like my opinion on it is really sour. I don't dislike it. I'd probably give it like high B or low C tier. But I feel like it's just such a disappointment after Arctibax. Probably low B tier. I'll put it below Poltegeist. I don't hate it whatsoever. It's just very disappointing in my opinion. There are cool things about it. I like how fun it is to use. With you can use like loaded dice, scale shot, and icicle spear. Glaive rush is a cool move. Stuff like that. I think it is a cool Pokemon. But yeah, just compared to Arctibax, I feel like it kind of gets overshadowed, in my opinion, at least. Gimme Ghoul. I'll rank the chest form, because that's the only form you can really get in-game. Gimme Ghoul has a cool gimmick. That's tough to say where to put it, though, because it's a cool gimmick of how to evolve it, but it is also kind of annoying. And they'll probably change it if it shows up in future games. I think it probably will show up in future games, because Goldingo is number 1000 in the Pokédex. That's a pretty significant number. I'd probably put it below Noibat. Like, I think it's cool, but I'm not like the biggest fan of it. And then Goldingo himself. Really fun to use. Not balanced like at all, but I think Steel Ghost is a cool typing. I don't hate the design. I know a lot of people don't like him because he looks like some string cheese mascot. But I don't mind the design. I like that he surfs on like a golden surfboard. I think that's really cool. And yeah, I think below Blaziken is fine. I am a fan of Goldingo. Wo Chien. We're on to the Ruinous Quartet here. I say trio, but there's 4 of them. Wo Chien is definitely my favorite design-wise. Probably overall, too, just because the design. I love the design of this thing. And it's shiny is so good, too. It's a shame you can't get it. But yeah. Wo Chien's design, like, surely is carrying it. So you gotta put it below Ursaluna. Really, really cool. Chien Pao, also pretty damn cool. Dark Ice is a cool typing, and it's like a weasel. I can't tell, is this thing supposed to be a weasel or a cat? This thing looks like way too noodle-like to be a cat, but everyone says it's a cat. I don't, maybe I'm crazy. This thing looks more like a weasel to me. It's kind of stealing Sneasel and Weavile's thunder. Dark Ice type weasel looking thing. Unfortunately, it's also better than both of them, but I mean, competitive-wise, it's better than both of them. I still like the other 2 better. But Chien Pao is pretty cool. I'd probably put it just below Slurpuff. King Lu is definitely the weakest out of them all, design-wise. It's not super interesting. Ground Dark is like a cool typing, and its playstyle is kind of lame. I don't dislike it, but not as much of a fan of it as I am the other ones. I'll put it below Cupid. And then Chi Yu. Sounds like a sneeze, but I think he's pretty cool. Probably my second favorite out of them all. Probably below Runerigus. I think Runerigus is a little bit of a cooler design, but the Chi Yu is very cool. A Firefish. Just awesome. Awesome design. Roaring Moon is a really, really cool Past Paradox Pokemon. The fact that it's based on Mega Salamence specifically is awesome. I love that they reference Megas. And it also supports an old theory, or not an old theory, but an old Pokédex entry of Aerodactyl that said that, what was it? That Mega Evolution awakened all of its like ancient genes, and like that's what it would look like if it was fully restored properly. Because the fossil restoration thing isn't like 100% accurate, but Mega Evolving allowed Aerodactyl to like fully become what it used to be in ancient times. In fact, this is a past paradox. I think it's really cool that it supports that, because this might just be what Salamences looked like back in the day. And maybe every other Mega Pokemon is just what those Pokemon all looked like back in the day. Maybe not every Mega Pokemon, but like a lot of them. Either way, really cool. Not my favorite past Paradox, but still very, very cool. I would probably rank it just below Gourgeist. Iron Valiant, I think, is even cooler because it's a fusion robot between Gallade and Gardevoir, and like there's a little bit of Kirlia in there. And actually, there's like a little bit of like Mega Gallade and Gardevoir in there too. Just super, super cool design. Fairy Fighting is also a really cool typing. That also gives it quite a few points. Probably, yeah, definitely A tier. I'd probably put it below Tinkaton, but still a very, very cool Pokemon. Koraidon. I don't like as much as Miraidon, but I think it's still very cool. Dragon Fighting is a cool type. If I would have played through Scarlet, I probably would have liked this thing a bit more than Miraidon, but you know how it is. Not like the biggest fan of it, but I think it's still cool. I think I put it below Escavalier. And then Miraidon, this is... I played through Violet, so I've got a bit more of an attachment to Miraidon. Probably low A tier. Just in general, I'm usually not super big on legendaries, so I'm not going to rank it super, super high, but I think it is still really cool. Electric Dragon is an awesome type. I think below Naganadel. Walking Wake. Now, when I said that the past Paradoxes should try to be more dinosaur-like, this is what I was talking about. The past Paradox forms of the legendary beasts from Johto, I think, do phenomenal jobs. I love all of them. Walking Wake, probably high B tier, I think. I would probably put it just below Inteleon. Walking Wake is very, very cool. Iron Leaves, it's fine. Where did I put Iron Jugulus? It was around here, right? Yeah, Iron Jugulus is there. I probably like it more than regular Virizion. But not by a whole lot. I'll put it below Grumpig. Dipplin, I really like Dipplin. I think it's a very good evolution to Applin. It doesn't change too much, but the fact that it's got 2 Wyrms living inside the body is very cool. Wouldn't rank it too much higher, but I still like it. Probably just above Tapu Koko. Poltergeist, this is Poltergeist, but they switched the names and designs around when it comes to these two. Poltergeist is cool. I like the little animation they did for it when they first revealed it before the teal mask came out. Probably high C tier. I think just below Caparaja. Sinistcha I really like a lot. Grass Ghost, another Grass Ghost type, still undefeated type. It's got a cool ability with Hospitality. I think it's got a really cool and very diverse moveset. Matcha Gotcha, Shadow Ball, Hex, Scald, Life Dew. There's a lot. I think it even gets a Rage Powder, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does. There's a lot going for Sinistcha. I think it's a very, very cool Pokemon. Probably just below Delmice. Okie dokie. Big contrast. This thing is like one of the ugliest Pokemon ever made, in my opinion. I don't hate it as viscerally as I did when it was first revealed. But I'm still not big on it. I think just above Barbaracle. Monkey Dory, I also thought was really ugly when it was first revealed, but this thing's grown on me a lot more, even if it is like one of the worst legendaries ever made. I don't know. I think it's a very goofy Pokemon. Probably like, really not that high still. Above Bastiodon. And then Pheasantipede is definitely my favorite out of them all, but that's not saying much because I still don't really care for it. Probably like just below Bayleaf. Ogerpon! This is one of the best legendaries they've ever made. Such a good legendary. The story revolving around Ogerpon and like the whole her like losing her partner to the Loyal 3 and then following you around for the adventure of getting her masks back. Really, really cool. Definitely one of my favorite legendaries. Probably just above Toxapex. I think she's a really, really good legendary. Alright, now onto the last stretch here with the Indigo Disc. Archaludon is a massive, massive improvement over Duraludon. Giving this guy stamina was kind of an unhinged, insane choice, but I love that they did that. I think this is a very fun Pokemon to use, too. Probably high B or no, probably low A tier. I think below Crabominable. I think Archaludon is very cool. And then my boy Hydrapple. I love this thing. I already like the other evolutions to Applin, but Hydrapple goes like several steps beyond that. This is so cool. Like the serpent head coming out of there with the apple attached to like the horn. And then the fact that there's like 6 or 7 other heads living inside this one giant apple. Awesome. And its shiny is also really, really good. I would probably put it just above Hisuian Typhlosion. Super, super awesome design. I love Hydrapple. Gouging Fire. Really cool. I love this is based on the Styracosaurus, I think. Pretty sure. It's got the one horn there. And I think that is awesome. In comparison to Walking Wake, I think it's probably my least favorite out of the 3. But I think Gouging Fire is still very, very cool. Probably just above Nidoqueen. I think even higher than that, actually. I think below Dragalge, yeah, that's a lot better. Gouging Fire is very, very neat. And then Raging Bolt, this is probably my favorite out of them all. This thing's design is awesome, even if it is a little goofy, but it's awesome. Like a sauropod version of Raikou, where its heads go into the sky, where there's like thunderclouds swirling around its head. It's just so cool. And then it's a really good Pokemon too. Really, really fun to use, in my opinion. But yeah. I think below Clawitzer. Still very, very cool. Very cool Pokemon. Iron Boulder. This guy is so goofy, I kind of love him. Rock Psychic's a god-awful type. But I don't know, it's just such a fun guy. I'd probably put it of Torkoal, probably just below Houndoom. I think Iron Boulder is very fun. Iron Crown can kiss my ass, Psy-Spam, degenerate rat. Above Glameow and D tier, that's my least favorite Paradox. And then Terapagos, I'll rank this one because this is the one you're going to see more often than not. Tropicos is not nearly as good as Ogerpon in terms of like the main DLC legendaries. I don't hate it, but I think it's still just a little underwhelming. But I'd probably put him probably above Poliwhirl. I think he's cool. He's got cool abilities between Terra Shift, where he turns into this form every time he switches into battle. The Distortion Shell? Terra Shell is what it's called, Terra Shell. Where it's basically multi-scale, where it resists the first hit that it takes at full HP. And then Terraform Zero, the ability where when it's terastallized, where it just removes all weather and terrain. I think it's very cool. Yeah, just below Slacking. And lastly, for now, Pecharunt. Pecharunt, the second, well, I guess technically fourth ever Ghost Poison type. But if you count the Gengar line, it's just one. This is the second Ghost Poison type in like nearly 30 years. Pecharunt is cool. His move pool kind of sucks. Unfortunately, I think they should have given him Body Press, but other than that, I think he's pretty neat. I might be misremembering, he might get Body Press, so I'm just crazy, but either way. I think he's a cool legendary. The quest, the final quest in the DLC with him was really cool. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all I gotta say about him. It's just a cool legendary, nothing too stand out. I think this is the way Mythical should be handled. Yeah, probably above Swellow, below... Yeah, not below Steelix. I'll probably rank it higher than this. Below Poplio. I think it's a very nice legendary. Okay, now moving on to the miscellaneous forms. There's a few this time. The male Oinkalogne. I'll put it above White Stripe Basculin. The orange Tatsugiri, I don't know the names for these guys. I'll put it above Ice-Q. And the pink one, I'll put it below that, because it's kind of just blank with no pattern or anything. Zero form Finizen is lame. Really lame. I'll put it below Blue Stripe Basculin. Roaming Gimmighoul. It's a cool concept. I'll put it above Frillishes. Wellspring Mask Ogerpon is pretty cool. I think I'd put it just above Aegislash. Hearthflame, I think I like a little bit more. And then the Cornerstone, I like a little bit more than that. I really like the mask design on the Cornerstone one. I think that's my favorite out of all four of them. And then this form of Tropicos, whatever it's called, is baby form. You don't really ever see this except for in the cutscene. So... yeah. And that will do it for the Generation 9 tier list. And as of right now, that'll do it for the Pokemon tier list as a whole. I've officially ranked every single Pokemon in existence as of now. Now, I will go through, and for the last part of this video, I've got notes here of any Pokemon I may want to change around. Just some final adjustments, because, well, the first video for Gen 1 came out last year, nearly a year ago. So a lot of my opinions have changed over time. So I probably want to make some adjustments. So I will start doing that now. Okay, now moving on to some adjustments of the tier list. A lot of the changes are going to be from Pokemon near like the first 2 or 3 tier lists, ones that have really touched in a while. A lot of them, in my opinion, have changed on, or they just kind of ended up staying really high when they shouldn't be. But anyways, so starting in S tier, I don't think I would change anything at S plus tier. This is like my definitive top 10. In S tier, Cubone, I would bring down below Petalil. Magnemite, I'd bring down to the bottom of S tier. And Venusaur, I'd bring down just a few stages, probably just above Girafarig. Typhlosion, base Typhlosion, I'd bring down a bit, probably below Orbeetle. And Heracross, I'd bring down just below the Slowbros. Now, Electivire, I want to bring up some. I definitely underrated him a bit. I'm a pretty big fan of Electivire. I think just above Malamar. Gliscor, I also bring up some, just below Fuecoco. Chandelure, I would bring up to probably just below Salazzle. And Gastrodon, I would bring up to just above Venusaur. That'll do it for there. And A tier, Rhydon has definitely ended up a little too high. He was at the top of A tier back in the Gen 1 tier list and just kind of stayed up there. Still like him. I would probably put him just above Nosepass. Ivysaur has definitely ended up way too high. I'd put him above Wartortle, near the bottom of A tier. And Fearow, I would bring above Crocodile. Skarmory, I would also bring down just a bit. Probably just below Dodrio. Raichu, I'd bring down a bit, probably near the bottom of A tier. I think above Flaffy. Venonat, I'd bring down a bit too. Probably above Slowpoke. Zubat, I'd bring down above Doduo. Actually above Wartortle. And Venomoth, I'd bring down above Torchic. And I want to bring up Mimikyu, wherever it is. Can't remember where I put it. There it is. I want to bring Mimikyu probably just below Minior. And Annihilate, I want to bring above Berserker. And then Shiftry. Shiftry's definitely grown on me a lot over these past few months. I'd probably put it... probably just below Togedemaru. Okay, now B tier. Starting off here, there's a lot to get through in B tier because it's such a huge tier compared to these first two. But I want to start off bringing some stuff up to A tier, starting with Golurk, who I would probably put just below Porygon. Empoleon, I would bring up above Groudon. Komodo, I would bring above Hydreigon. Seismitoad, I would put just below Tympole. I feel these two are very even in my mind now. I'm a big fan of both of them. Kingambit, I bring just a little bit into A tier. Probably below Seismitoad. Vikavolt, about the same. Actually, probably above Porygon. Galvantula, probably below Zubat. Dhelmise, probably above Tyranitar. And Sinistcha would be above Galvantula. Okay, now bringing down some stuff in this tier. trying to go in order here. Alolan Dugtrio definitely ended up way too high. I'd probably put it below Garbodor. Still in B tier, but much, much lower. Both of the Raticates ended up definitely way too high. Alolan Raticate I would bring down here, probably below Alcremie. And a regular Raticate I would put above Halo. What else? Galarian Slowpoke has definitely ended up way too high. I'd probably have him just below Litten. Both Whoopers and Quagsire are a bit too high. I still love these guys, but I wouldn't put them quite at the top of B tier or anything anymore. I'd probably have them below Tapu Koko. Still in the same order. But, yeah, still much, much farther down. Chinchou and Lantern have ended up a little too high. Probably put them above Jigglypuff. Ninetales and Arcanine have also ended up just a bit too high. I'd probably have them above Torracat. Politoed's a little too high. Probably have them below Surskit. Oh, I'm thinking of it. Xatu is definitely a little too high. Probably below Dachsbun. Torkoal, similar vein to Politoed, is a weather setter. A little too high. I'd probably put it just below Politoed. Amora and Tyrant are both a bit too high. I'd have them below Spoink. Hoot Hoot I have written down on here. I forget where that is. Oh, here. The Hoot Hoots and the Rattatas are both way too high. Hoot Hoot I would have down here. It's one of my favorite of the regional bird designs, but I don't think it's quite enough to carry it. I put it below Melton. And the Rattatas I probably have just above Hoot Hoot. And some buffs in this tier. Ceruledge I have written down. I would probably bring up here, probably below Walking Wake. I have a Gallade written down. Yeah, Gallade probably just below Slitherwing. Trevenant and Gourgeist I would bring up probably just below Elekid. Victory Bell I would bump a little bit. This thing has really grown on me this past year. I'd put him below Honchkrow. Whiscash is in the similar vein. Can't remember where I put Whiscash. Right here. Whiscash I would bring up a bit. Probably just below Chi-Yu. Same for Cyclizar. Probably just above Whiscash. And then Hakamo'o should be near the bottom here. Yeah. Hakamo'o I would definitely bring up to probably below Steelix. Thought it would be tier. C tier, not got nearly as many changes, weirdly, even though I'm pretty sure this is the biggest tier. There's honestly not many things that you wanted to change. There's a few things I want to bring up to B tier. Hisuian Electrode has grown on me a bit. I'd probably put it below Impidimp. What else? Cryogonal has grown on me too. Probably just below Applin. Sandaconda, mainly because of its Gigantamax. I just really like this thing's Gigantamax, and it definitely buffs it quite a bit. Below Naclstack. And lastly, for this tier, Glalie. I've had a lot of fun very recently with Moody on Glalie, so that's bringing up a bit. Still not nearly as good as Frostlass, but still pretty good. Open up a little Fidough. Nothing to nerf within the tier itself. Excelgor, I wanted to bring up a bit. Because I think I ranked this thing just a little too low, above Beheum. And Morgrum also wanted to bring up a little bit because of its shiny. I think it has the best shiny in its line, and that gives it a few points for me. I put them below Vanillite. Now, I do want to bring a couple things from here into D tier. By a couple things, I mean Stunky. Stunky is going down here below Gothita, and Skuntank is also going down here below Floragato. Really don't like either of those Pokemon. And then in D tier, I definitely did Cloyster dirty. I had one bad experience in a max raid battle in Sword and Shield, and that, I guess, really made me not like the Pokemon, but I've gotten over that now. And I probably still have Cloyster in C tier, but it does have Skill Link, and that is pretty cool. So I'll probably get it near the top of C tier, I think. Above Poltergeist. And also in D tier, Bruxish, I wanted to bring up a bit. Where Bruxish is here. Mostly because of the shiny, because the shiny is really good, and I don't really hate the design as much anymore. Amoonguss. Where is Amoonguss? Amoonguss. Also want to buff a little bit, because this thing's... I suppose I really don't care much for its playstyle. It has helped me a bit in a few fan games here and there. So I'll bring it below Woobat. And Kakuna. I really don't like the Cocoon like archetype of Pokemon, but since this is related to my favorite Pokemon ever, I'm gonna buff it a bit. Put it below Amoonguss. And lastly, in E tier, I want to bring Muck down a bit, probably below Aromatisse. And I want to buff Clefairy and Clefable. They're a little too low. I don't hate them that much. Still don't really care for their playstyle, but they're not that bad. And to make the F tier a bottom 10, like how S Plus is top 10, I'm going to bring 2 Pokemon down into F tier. And that is going to be Mandibuzz, because this thing has like the most obnoxious playstyle of almost the most obnoxious playstyle of all time. Hatterene is also in this tier, and that's worse. I'll put it above Jinx, because at least the design isn't that bad, but still. I'm really not a fan of it. And lastly, into F tier is Zeraora, who's going to be at the very top, because it's not that bad. Well, it is very bad, but it's not my most hated here. It's the least bad of everything down here. Yeah, man, this is just a failed industry plant Pokemon. They were just trying to make another Lucario. I don't know what else to say. And you see where that's got Lucario, and this guy failed, and so he's not as bad, but still really not a fan of Zeraora. I don't think there's any changes I want to make here. Megas, I think I'll bring Mawile up a slot. This thing's also really grown on me, and I'm excited for it to come back in Legends EA, and hopefully Pokemon Champions too. But yeah, I think that'll do it. No changes I want to make to the Gigantamaxes. Actually, yes, there is. I want to bring Sandaconda up here and Inteleon up there. Just bring Snorlax down a little bit. Other than that, that'll do it for the Pokemon tier list. I want to thank everyone who's stuck by and managed to listen to me ramble about Pokemon for God knows how many hours at this point. But yeah, I'll probably keep doing tier lists for other games and maybe some more Pokemon related ones at some point, but there will probably be a little bit of a break between now and the next one. But yeah, that'll do it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.